see up here on the top of this hill, this stuff really grew up. Really tall, can't even see the house from here. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I was going to do a little video here of a crop update. If you've seen the video of me planting the field behind my house here that we disced up, this is it now. We planted it, I think it's about 4 weeks ago now. But anyway, this is how it's grown, and this Thursday we're going to cut it for hay. So I was going to do a little quick update here, show you guys how well it grew. So as you can see, this half, like always, every time we plant something up here, it does good. And back there and those little hills, that stuff's over 10 feet tall. So if you missed that video, this is called Safety Graze. It's Sorghum Sudan hybrid grass. It's really low in prussic acid, so it's a little bit better as far as that goes. But this is it's basically kind of a Sorghum Sudan hybrid type grass. So we got that in here, and I got a little bit of millet, some Japanese millet, and there was a few sunflowers, but I think this stuff just outgrew it, so they didn't really grow well. And I got some cowpeas down in here, and there was some collards in here in a few places. So it did pretty good, except for down here in this lower part, it hasn't grown quite as tall. So coming off the hill here, we kind of dropped down, and it's not quite near as tall, except for where there's little hills. You can see how dark green and tall that is. Over there's a few, and then down in there it gets real tall, and then you can see where it's dark green, where the water drains off this field and runs down through there down to the pond. And it did really good in there. So I don't know, maybe we're lacking on some nutrients on this side. Maybe those little hills are good. Have to soil test it and find out. But we're going to cut all this for hay, and it should regrow pretty quickly. We've been the part that I no-tilled, I'll go down there and show you guys that. It's growing really well, and the cattle are enjoying graze on it. So we're going to run down there and take a look at that. So here's the sunflowers. You can tell they didn't do very good at all. Pretty much they grew all up and then just quit growing, and then the crabgrass just took over and went from there. One of the factors on these is this field tends to hold quite a bit of moisture and water in the center. It doesn't stand or pool in water, but it just stays really damp. And these sunflowers seem to like it pretty dry. And it's been real humid. We've had a lot of rain and moisture this year, and I just don't think they like that much. So I think it kind of drowned them out. Right in here you can see this little bald spot here. When I showed these first planted, I had good rows all the way through there, and that little spot right here where it's bald really holds water, and it just killed them. So sucks. I was hoping to have a nice stand of sunflowers like we did, but we had a few. It's a little bit better than last year. So maybe next year on the sunflowers, but I'm going to go ahead and mow this down. We're going to bale it too. See up here on the top of this hill, this stuff really grew up, really tall, can't even see the house from here. So I had some sunflowers I had left over, and well, I guess they weren't left over. We had this smaller sack that we had that we bought 100 pounds, and we had one partially open before we planted that field I showed you at the front, and these got planted a little bit earlier, and they grew taller, but still not all of them came up. But they did a lot better. But those other ones, when I got ready to plant them, it just rained us out, so I never got to plant them. So they got planted really late, and I think that was part of the fact why it didn't do well either. So this is the safety graze that I no-tilled down here in the pasture that the cattle are grazing on. And again, up here on this hillside, it did really well, and then you start dropping off, and it's there, it's decently thick, but it just didn't grow as tall. But we planted over there, and we started grazing them over there first, and we're working our way back this way, and we're making these little lanes here. And we just moved this hot wire a couple hours ago from right here to over there where they are now. They've already ate that much of it down, and it was as thick as the next row. So our goal is once we get all the way across over there to the trees, we'll be able to start back over here. We'll go take a look at that and show you how well it's regrown. This is where we initially started grazing. I think it was around the 1st of July or towards the end of June when we started them here. And it's July 19th now, so this is the regrowth. Out to you there, you can see it's really coming back pretty quick. So this has provided really good grazing for us this year, and we'll see how many more times we can graze it before we have to terminate it.